Greetings and complications, my dear friends. Welcome to another video on our channel. You're watching GMT-3, the channel that makes complications simple. I'm going to start this video by putting you in charge of helping me name this segment, a new segment starting here on GMT-3. And what are we going to check out here? Luxury brand watches with priced at up to 20,000 Rs. It's your chance to enter the world of famous brand watches, luxury brand watches, without investing a lot of money. It's the kind of watch you wear to look sharp at a meeting, to mark important events in your life, your wedding, the birth of your child. A good watch for you to pass down to future generations, to your children. In other words, new and pre-owned luxury brand watches up to 20,000 Rs. And I invite you to help me name this segment, so put your creativity to work, go to the comments section. And the name I choose, I'll give you a Trimix as a gift. I'll send you a Trimix as a present to thank you for helping us name this segment. And we're starting this segment off really well. We're starting with a watch that has an absolutely extraordinary story. Before I show you which watch this is, which I think you've already got your eye on, I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to take it a step further, join our VIP club. We're revamping everything. Every first of the month, we'll have all the benefits for members for that month. In other words, I'm negotiating with partners here for discount coupons for maintenance raffles. Come join the club. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it a lot. Come to our club, to our group over there on WhatsApp, which is really lively. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it a lot. Maybe your watch will turn up here too, right? I like to show the watches of the channel members here. Who knows, maybe your watch is here too. Come join the club, my brother. I'm sure you're going to like it a lot. You're already checking out the guy we have here in our segment, and you're going to help me come up with a name for him, right? Today we're going to check out a watch that has an amazing story, music, Ladies and gentlemen, International Watch Company Mark 18, we're off to a good start, aren't we? IWC, a simply extraordinary brand. I love IWC for several reasons. First, these are watches with extremely high legibility, a brand with tremendous historical value, the essence of a tool watch. And also something that really catches my attention because I really like aviation. Speaking of aviation, changing the subject completely, we're talking to Panda, man, Gianfranco Panda. Betinho for him to give a lecture at the Brazil Watch Show, okay? I'm talking to him, God willing, everything will work out and we'll have Panda at the Brazil Watch Show. So stay tuned, go to the Brazil Watch Show's Instagram because as soon as we confirm everything, I'll let you know there. But anyway, coming back to our IWC Mark 18, the version we're going to check out here is the Little Prince version, and I'll tell you why IWC pays tribute to the Little Prince in their watches. To talk about the IWC Mark 18, we have to go back to the 1940s, which was when IWC started producing their watches. With the Mark designation Mark, to meet the needs of the British Department of Defense. All of this started with the Mark 10 back in 1944. IWC produced the Mark 10 along with 11 other companies to supply the British Army. These watches became known as the Dirty Dozen. After all, there were 12 brands that produced almost identical watches to meet these specifications. I made an old video here on the channel talking about the Dirty Dozen, right? The Dirty Dozen, I could even re-record that video because it's a really cool story about the Dirty Dozen, which refers, to the movie The Dirty Dozen. But anyway, IWC produced their Mark 10 there for the British Ministry of Defense, for the British Army. This story starts in 1944, but then in 1948, IWC takes a turn and launches their Mark 11, but this time not to supply the Army anymore, but the RAF, the Royal Air Force. They developed this model, the Mark 11, to provide pilots and navigators with an extremely precise watch. It was a little bigger than the Mark 10, but had extremely high legibility. It's a beautiful watch. It had a notched hour hand. The watch is really beautiful, and now you're seeing a picture of it. In fact, I have a very similar model from a brand called XVIII. Here, if I haven't uploaded it yet, I'm about to upload this video, the review of this watch, which has a ceramic case. Very beautiful watch. And if you like this Mark 11 from IWC, you're going to like this XVIII that I'm going to show you. In 1948, they introduced the Mark 11, and this watch was produced until 1984, the Mark 11. Decades in production. In 1993 came the Mark 12, and in 1999 came the Mark 15. The Mark 18 that we have here went into production in 2016. Today, this line is known by IWC as the Mark 20 model. So we have all this historical association when we look at this watch here and here, right? Movement in the Mark 18, we have all this historical watch DNA. We have it in this little guy here. The Mark 16, since it has a slightly larger case, IWC chose to change the hands, right? It has this model that you're checking out in our scenes. It already has the big pilot hands, right? To make it more harmonious within that 40mm case, the watch is simply extraordinary. And about the finishing of this watch, there's nothing to say, right? The watch is simply perfect in terms of finishing. IWC is capable of producing tool watches for aviation, for the world of aviation, that simply have an amazing finish, as you can see in these scenes. This strap here in this tobacco tone with this orange inner part is really beautiful, man. I think this shade of brown here with this blue dial looks simply perfect in this version that pays tribute to the Little Prince. Why does IWC pay tribute to the Little Prince? It's a way to honor not only the Little Prince, but also its author, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Exupéry, he was a pilot. Besides being a writer, he flew a lot. In fact, he disappeared while flying. During World War II, he did reconnaissance over France flying a P-38 Lightning. There are versions of the IWC that have a P-38 on the caseback, which is precisely a reference to this final journey of Exupéry, when he simply disappeared flying this P-38. He disappeared, and for decades no one knew the whereabouts of Exupéry. A fisherman found metal, a metal pin with his name on it. A few years later, someone dove somewhere and ended up finding this P-38. It's been a long time since I read this story, but anyway. This is the connection between IWC and Exupéry. Exupéry didn't just write The Little Prince. He has other books, including some related to aviation. Night Flight Airmail. Anyway, the world of aviation was closely connected to Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And this is the way IWC decided to honor this pilot, right? With this beautiful version here, which is the Mark 18. This little guy here is 40mm in diameter, it's 10.8. And here in this version, we have the caliber 35-111, which is based on the Sellita SW300. The Mark 20 produced nowadays already has a completely different movement. It's the 32-111, which is manufactured by IWC, but it's not really manufactured, right? It's from Volfleria, which is part of the Richemont Group. The Richemont Group owns both IWC and Volfleria. And Volfleria produces this movement for this watch here. The main differences in the movement, in this little guy here, we have a 42-hour power reserve. And in the Mark 20, we have a 120-hour power reserve. The water resistance, in this little guy here, we have 6 atmospheres indicated here by the 6 bar next to this little fish on the caseback. And in the more modern models, we already have 10 atmospheres. In other words, we already have a case with greater resistance. The main features that I think are cool about this type of watch are its longevity in terms of design. If you have this Mark 18 and take good care of it, the Sellita movement is extremely robust. It's a watch that 30 years from now you'll still have it, and it will be just as good as the Mark that was released at the time. Because I'm sure that as long as IWC exists, they'll have a model here that refers to this style of watch. Did you like this Mark 18, the price difference, right? This little guy here costs 19,000 Rs. I bought this watch as a gift for my dear wife. I told her that I would never want to wear it, that it was just hers, that I wouldn't want to borrow it, right? I told her it's just hers, right? So here's a rule for you, my man. If you want to buy a nice watch, you've got that big watch on your wrist. Are you thinking about buying a great watch? Give an excellent watch to your wife, my brother. It's gonna be awesome. You go to her and give her that watch, right? Yeah, like in this style here. And then, my brother, you already have a free pass when you want to buy your next one. I told her, look, I bought this watch. It wasn't for me to use, it's just for you. So you can wear it without worry. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it a lot. Now, after the story, when she sees this video, I'm sure she'll wear her Mark 18 even more. Did I mention the price? This little guy here, around 19,000 rays, a little more, a little less. But in that range, you can already find this watch, the Mark 18. And the Mark 20, it's around 33,800 reais. So for almost 15,000 reais less, you get a watch with the same style. It's not the same movement, right? We have this difference in model and also water resistance. Who's gonna use a pilot watch for diving, right? Although there's this watch here with the stainless steel bracelet, honestly, I found it terribly ugly. This one here, it's mandatory to wear this watch with a leather strap. Forgive me, those of you who have your watches from this line with a bracelet. So that's almost 15,000 rays less, and now you're part of our new segment, and I'm gonna ask you what name we should give it. Leave it in the comments section. The watch is simply extraordinary. I love this combination of the tobacco tone on the strap with this metallic blue tone on the dial, man. It's unbeatable, unbeatable. International watch company Mark 18. Do you know why it's called Mark? Every product, item, or equipment that the Ministry of Defense bought for the Army, Navy, or Air Force had the name Mark in it, which was their way of tracking the evolutions, right? Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. That was the way the Ministry of Defense kept track of which generation that equipment belonged to. And from Mark 18, we reached Mark 78, which was the watch you saw here. And Mark 18 is available on the IWC website. Just a reminder that IWC is officially here in Brazil, okay? IWC girl, always representing IWC around here. There's also the Mark XX, but here you saw the Mark 15. I got this little guy from my dear friend Marcelo Garcia. In fact, for 50 reais more, he'll send you a little note congratulating you. I'll send a photo, okay? So for 50 reais more, he'll send it to help with the cover story. I'm kidding, guys, I'm kidding. He sent it from the heart. Thanks, Marcelão. We're together. That's it, my dear friends. Big hug. I really hope you guys enjoyed this IWC Mark 18 watch. With under 20,000 reais, you're in the world of luxury watches. Also, leave your suggestion for which model you want to see in this series. Big hug. I'll see you, of course, in our next video. And may our Heavenly Father not only guide your life, but also be Lord of your heart. May He bless you immensely. That's what I hope for. Those are my wishes and my prayers. May He give you wisdom, and very soon I'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.